I think we're very interested in that speech that you gave about, the Pink Floyd, using the Pink Floyd as a through line. I think we'd be very interested in seeing that. I believe there are quite a few folks who love music. Would love to see that.
That was an interesting presentation. Fun to make.
You know what's really cool about that is project management isn't an accountant, doing the same work over and over. It's creativity.
It is. And one thing I talked about is if you've been to see The Wall with Roger Waters, they start with the stage with a little bit of the wall, and they build it up to the first half of the concert. So the second half is behind the wall. And the point I was trying to make was all this planning goes into effect. All these things happen. And at the last note of the first half, you put the final brick in the wall. So if there's something done wrong with planning, if you didn't do your proper risk assessment, if you didn't manage your execution properly, that last brick wouldn't fit in that wall. So that was kind of the topic, and that's where I think project management extends beyond just what we think, and it's different industries that we may not even think it could be a part of, or different activities that you would even think it'd be a part of.
Theatrical design, lighting, overall operational and logistics. Wow.
And even whenever, again, a Pink Floyd reference, when they toured in '94, their stage was 150 foot tall, 102 foot wide, and stuck out past the 35-yard line. They could put it up in 6 hours and take it down in 4 because of the way the technology was put together and the way the equipment was put together and the way they managed the whole location and the construction of the stage. So again, it's music related, and Pink Floyd being my favorite, but again, it's project management outside of what we're used to and seeing how it all fits together in a kind of real world application.
Do you have a future career as a roadie for these kinds of bands then?
I would love it. I would love it.
You'd be in heaven.
I would love it. Don't know if I ever do it, but I would love it.
Well, there's always dreams and, our next phases in 10 years from now when we retire and, what we get to do. You can go play. Yeah. But one of the most important messages is we can play now. We can take these PM skill sets and play now.
And I do.
That is so awesome here. Where else now, PMI Rochester is a nonprofit organization. It requires an incredible amount of time. It's not something we dedicate 2 hours a week to. It's something we can dedicate up to 10, 20, 30, 40 hours a week to, in addition to our full-time career.
Right.
And especially holding that role of presidency. There are these kinds of, the same stressors apply, the same responsibilities and accountability applies. When you step down out of that did open up some time, which I don't know if your family took it back, but some time in your schedule. Were there other nonprofit organizations you also feel passionately about that you're also engaged in?
I am, but I still maintain it through a PMI network. So what I mean by that is I stepped down from being president. I was past president for a year, and then I actually took a year or so off just because I just
you have to decompress,
reset, take a breath, and move back in. So one of the things I did prior to becoming VP of governance is I worked on social good, and we did a project management day of service where we pulled nonprofits from the area together, and we gave them a day-long training session and workshop of project management. And in the morning, we gave them this is PM 101. In the afternoon, we had experts within our chapter get together with these organizations and say, give us one of your problems you're experiencing in your chapter, in your business, and let's talk about how project management skills could help you get around that issue. So I have a passion for nonprofits in general. I have a passion for how can we leverage project management. So while it's not been a direct, I'm working for another nonprofit, I was able to incorporate PMI with a nonprofit. So through that, I worked with the Rochester Monroe Anti-Poverty Initiative. Have a passion for that, so we were able to be involved with that. So I have some passions, but I like to keep it centered on project management, how we can make those nonprofits operate better.
Outreach and education.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. So we did that one day. Is that something that we will continue to revisit and continue to support? What are our thoughts in the future? Do we have any yet, or are we still in planning?
No, there's other activities going on right now that falls under our VP of Outreach, Keith Parrish.
Mhm.
Keith is working with his team to come up with what that next event looks like, or what does that next strategy look like. There definitely will be more activities in the future. It's just
Okay.
we're trying to piece that together, learn from what we did on the day of service, and see how we can make that better.
So for folks who are listening to this, it's definitely worthwhile to go to our website, pmirochester.org, and ensure that you take a look at what all of our different leaders are doing and what they have on deck, and see how you want to get involved.
Exactly. I'll just make one comment about volunteering. It doesn't have to be a 10, 15-hour a week job. If you've got 1 or 2 hours that you can contribute a month, that's fine. That'll be
Yes.
your way to give back to the chapter, give back to the community. And you'll find you get a lot of value, you get a lot of pride out of that 1 or 2 hours you may spend working with the chapter as a volunteer. So
I
it,
personally agree with that.
it can be as little or as big as you want it to be.
Yes. Yes. The hiccup there is you'll get excited about it and you'll want to spend more time.
Exactly.
You do. Trust me.
Mhm.
I'm there myself. And it's figuring out how to make that happen. I couldn't have said it better. That was amazing, Brian. Brian, in all of the, you said some amazing things, just quotes throughout this interview. Um, Block and tackle, roll your sleeves up, be humble. You're a servant leader. Bring that team together about trust and communication, and building the morale and the spirit. Helping folks feel to be part of a team building with that Nerf football.
Mhm.
Um, what do you feel is your main through line throughout your entire project management career, and how you educate and share and teach? What do you feel your through line is?
Um, I keep it real, and I don't make it about me. I don't have an ego. I don't want an ego. I don't make it about me, and that allows me to give a perspective of when there is an issue, that I can see what the issue is without having my own biases in the middle of it, trying to do what I want to do. I try to do what is right for the organization, the team, the member, whatever it happens to be.
All right. And I think that's very important, because oftentimes we as humans will bring our own human emotions into it, and we'll say, well, wait a minute, we had a great idea too. And it's like, yes, you are a contributor in that, that education and that intelligence that each one of us brings, but
Mhm.
it's a collective.
Exactly.
And how do we bring that collective together?
Exactly.
Thank you, Brian. Brian, before we close, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
I would just like to share that the PMI Rochester chapter is awesome. It continues to be awesome. And as I work forward as the VP of Governance for the next 2 years, we're going to make this sexy portfolio. So stay in touch. Stay tuned.
That's awesome. So for everybody listening, it's a sexy portfolio
It
is
is.
coming from the VP of Governance.
Yeah,
Oh, that's your quote.
it is. Oh, and I get teased about it all the time. Now people at the PMI Global are saying, "How's that sexy portfolio going?" So I got the message out there, and I got to keep pushing that message. Sexy portfolio.
We need a multimedia marketing campaign.
There you go.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. We look forward to working with you over the next few years. We are not going to let you go probably after those 2 years. So everybody hang on your seatbelts, because we've got a sexy portfolio coming.
Absolutely.
Brian, thank you.
Thank you.